All right, folks. Welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching a YouTube channel called... No, I'm kidding. You're watching Alpha Investments. One man's Florida life in the journey of cardboard through the valley of the shadow of cardboard. Don't let your memes be dreams. Stepsisters, be cautious. So, the difference between many card games, between Magic, Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, the scary world of Yu-Gi-Oh!, all the way to the new guys. One Piece, Disney Lorcana, Star Wars, Sorcery. And then you've got the old guard. You got the Weiss. Then you got the new card games again. Hololive, Godzilla, Gundam, Riftbound coming. Each ecosystem has a different type of buyer. Some of them overlap, some of them don't. When you look at Magic the Gathering, this stuff historically is led by what? Utility. People who are interested in Magic historically buy based on utility. That is always what's driven the single card market of the non-reserved list world of Magic. Now, recently, Pokemon has always been driven by collectability, speculation, and investors. Magic's always been the same way when it comes to sealed product and reserve lists, but not with modern stuff. Now, for the first time ever, post-Final Fantasy world, we do have the crypto Poke Bros all over Magic the Gathering speculating on collector boxes like the world is coming to an end. We're seeing a tremendous uptick in sealed products across the board. Now, as you all know, something I have been preaching to you all in the last 5 years was, in the future, all the old draft boxes will be pushed up with inflation and will be equal to or greater than the new play boxes, because that's just how the world works with inflation and costs moving forward. Now, another interesting thing you can watch for the health of a card game or a brand is the single card market and the secondary market for pretty much organized play and, of course, playability, the utility of the cards. I love that phrase, the utility of the cards. Not just ink, cardboard, Rudy's pretty face, and my 3 strands of hair. It's the utility of the cards, right? And utility was usually something driven in the world of Magic. What makes the hot card in Standard? $50 for a Chase Mythic, $10, $20 for a Chase Rare, or a variant was always how hot it is in Standard. Is it a Tier 1 net deck playable? Is it a 4 of in a deck? You know, that kind of thing was when it's led the world of Magic and speculation for a long time. A lot of younger people, a lot of kind of newer people, lower income people, people who like to have fun, tend to play the speculative standard card world of Magic. They like to kind of handpick, and this bulk rare is going to boom. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. I don't really like that kind of area of the playground because I don't like the risk-reward situation. It's outside my risk tolerance. I don't like that kind of thing. I don't like to speculate on $1,000 in bulk rares, and maybe I'm right. It goes to 10, it 10x's my money, to $10,000, or I'm wrong, and essentially they're impossible to sell, and it goes to zero kind of thing. Well, I can't say zero. It's a nickel a rare or something, or a quarter a rare. You really can't do anything with it. So that brings me to some interesting new stuff. Let's look at some new stuff. So in the world of One Piece, we see quite a bit of demand for the single cards. I mean, it's impressive. The chase cards in One Piece really do drive a lot of the prices. You will notice certain chase cards, or certain Dom cards, that will spike in value in One Piece, and then you'll see like a delay a week or a month later, that set of sealed boxes will move up or double or have a 10, 20, 50% price spike. Now, the biggest one I have to admit, Flesh and Blood. This game has always been driven by the hardcore player base and organized play, and of course the tournaments, just the how do I say, the aggressive, the hardcore player base that play and strategize with Flesh and Blood. The reason I'm going to pick on Flesh and Blood is because there is no other game that has the demand for single cards that's not even close to the demand of sealed product. In Flesh and Blood is by far, and there's not even a close second, the Majestics and the playable cards is what strips that game from the... I mean, that is what just leads the pack. If you look at a new Flesh and Blood set, like let's say here, okay, let's look at the Hunted or High Seas recently. I know we got Super Slam coming, but let's look at Super Slam. If Super Slam comes out in 30, 45 days, whenever you watch this video. If there are 2 or 3 Chase Majestics that spike to $30, $40, $50 a card, that alone is going to drive tremendous price adjustments on the single cards, the sealed product, the too expensive to play the game. You're going to see a lot. That is the number one variable in Flesh and Blood. When you look at high Cs, go back to the 100, look at Misty, look at Rosetta, look at all the recent sets. Go on TCG Player, go on eBay, sort by Majestics. Look at the Majestic card prices. And yes, some of the legendaries. But Fables, don't look at the Fables. Rares, commons, doesn't matter. It's the Majestic slot that leads the pack for Flesh and Blood. You can tell long term, well, no one can tell long term. You can tell in a short to medium term how well a product's doing by the sell-through rate of these Majestics. Because, well, if the market gets stripped out and there's none left, and the Majestic spikes to $100, and it's a 3 of in a deck in Flesh and Blood, I mean, if the sealed box is $99 or $109 or $129, whatever it is, I mean, you can't have 3 Majestics in the set at $100 a card, and the sealed box is $100. You see what I'm getting at? Even if that Majestic can only be pulled in 1 in every 2 or 3 boxes, because the pool of Majestics is so big. So you have certain card games that are going to be more insulated to when the day comes that the market starts to soften and the speculator crypto bros kind of soften their stance. They backpedal, they get nervous, an economic shift in the headwinds, interest rates, money borrowing, bear market, whatever. Games like, I believe right now, games like Magic and Flesh and Blood are probably going to hold up better if the market softens, more so than the short-term market for something like One Piece or even Pokemon. Now, that doesn't really mean a whole lot if you're a long-term person. I'm just saying when the attitude of the market swing, that pendulum always overshoots to the bullish side, to the bearish side. And some card games recover quicker, some take longer, some just crash and burn and never come back. We know who you are in the past, and you're not around. And I mean, that's how these ecosystems work. So, but let's look at something else. Let's bring up like Weiss Schwartz. Like right now, I get conversations all the time. Like, look at Weiss. You have, I think I counted 6 Weiss sets last weekend when I was checking all the prices of sealed product. I counted 6 Weiss sets from the last couple years. 6. Where the supply is less than like 2 cases online, which would be less than 40 boxes, 48 boxes or less. And the price of these boxes used to be $50, $60, $70, and they're at 80, 90, they're at 100, and you couldn't even buy 3 cases if you wanted to. And the market's gone. It's stripped out. So when that happens, how do you determine if buying it $100 a box, even doubling the price from what it was in Weiss, I mean, is this going to be $150, $250, $300 Weiss box? It's happened many times. And we see these anomalies and these weird movements. And again, right now, let's jump again. Okay? Disney Lorcana. Again, you guys know I'm not a Lorcana fan. I respectfully decline to carry the product line. And it's just, I just don't like the management and how they're handling the game. And look at this. Okay? Think about this. We have the old original Lorcana first box is down 50 to 60% from the highs in the last 6 months. We have the new Lorcana set, and as they keep bumping print runs and making adjustments, well, they've had multiple Amazon stocks and Amazon markdowns and stores and distributes. It's getting a little sloshy on the Lorcana. So again, use extreme caution. I'm not saying it's going to fail. I'm just saying be cautious with your money on that. Now, let's jump again. Look at Sorcery right now. All of a sudden, last 30 days, they do their little Dragon Lord Secret Lair mini thing. Goes crazy. Ed Beard Jr. artwork, everyone goes nuts for it. Price 500, 5X's on the internet. People are fighting for them. Don't have any. Don't have any to open. Don't even have any to look at. Don't have it. Sorry. But that's also had side effects because now there's been an interesting move in even Arthurian legends. Because now we've had spillover from the Dragon Lord and Sorcery conversation into Arthurian legends, where the supply online has thinned out massively. The amount of Arthurian Legends boxes on TCG Player has dropped significantly. We are down to probably less than 30 loose boxes on TCG Player before prices go back over $100 a box. That's a pretty big difference compared to the slump in Sorcery's Dead, whatever the internet said 3 months ago, right? So now we're seeing a shift. And ironically, it lines up with now people having excitement and chatter because of this massive Gothic set coming. So now you're starting to see a little, and I expect in the future, Sorcery is going to stay this way. It's going to be these cold, quiet periods of months with nothing to talk about and do, no price swings, nothing. And then as you approach that annual big set release, you're going to see all of a sudden the market starts getting jittery, prices start moving, people start getting ready. I think if Sorcery sticks with that business model, I think it's going to stay that way for the foreseeable future. Many months, cold, no one cares, Sorcery's dead, blah, blah, blah. Oh, look, wait, something's coming? Oh my God, Sorcery's not dead. You're going to have that continuous quiet period, and then when we approach the new thing, everyone's going to start getting excited again. And I'm already starting to see that, and we're still in August. Like, Gothic doesn't even come out till like the end of October, beginning of November, if they're on time. I mean, what is that, 2 months? It's a long ways off still. And you're already seeing attitude shift just because of these little things, okay? And again, Sorcery does have a lot of speculation, a lot of collectors, a lot of investors, and there is a small player base that is very passionate about it. That's what it is. So when we look at these different card games, remember, the prices of sealed product and single cards always move differently depending on the game. Every game performs and behaves differently. And some games are going to be more vulnerable, a higher beta, in other words, the swings, the VIX, the volatility of a brand is going to be a lot higher than others. For example, let's look at like a Weiss set. When Weiss makes a Psychono set, the little chick set, and stores pay $50 a box, okay, and it comes out and there's nobody wants it, the box price could go from 50 to 40, and nobody makes money. Rudy gets stuck with heavy bags. Everyone says, oh, it's the worst ever. But then there's barely any around. You go online, and it's like there's nothing there. And then all of a sudden, if that Weiss set gets a revamp or a new set that interacts with the old one that supports it, all of a sudden you have a Weiss set that nobody wanted that was below distribution. A new set comes out, and all of a sudden, all of the prices go from $40, $50 a box to $70, $80, $90, $100 a box. It literally goes from negative, the entire product's life cycle, to 100% return overnight. And you have, in other words, certain brands move differently. Pokemon in this era is notorious for the prices spike up, they flat, they spike up. Pokemon is the most textbook classic staircase movement. Every few months, spike, Pokemon sideways, spike, sideways, drift, nothing, spike, sideways. Like, Pokemon does this staircase thing. Pokemon doesn't have really a nice, smooth line. You just see these jumps. And that kind of behavior is driven by a lot of collectors and speculators. And again, Pokemon appreciates the fastest and moves the fastest in this era of demand, frenzy, and desire. But when you move to the upside that fast, if we ever hit a downturn, it will move down harder and faster. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm just saying, you got to understand, things that have a wider alligator mouth that can swing more to the upside means they can swing more to the downside. And the problem with risk is we never understand risk as humans until something happens. And we all step back and say, man, I didn't realize that. I didn't think it could get that bad. I didn't know this could happen. And let me be a little negative bear. Let me be Rudy the hairy bear, okay? The biggest thing that's bearish and negative for me and what I see in the world right now is a couple categories. Number one, everybody wants to open a card store. Number two, every retail business from car dealerships to laundromats to gas stations to GameStops to pretty much furniture stores want to carry cards, distribution, and sell trading cards at their register or whatever. Okay? Number three, the amount of crypto money from Bitcoin, meme coins, Ethereum, whatever, flowing in to lock in profits and do that is substantial. I get it every single day now. It's Rudy. Give me a price quote, Rudy, on, I don't even know. Rudy, give me a price quote on Evolving Skies. I want a sealed case of Evolving Skies. And I'm like, I don't know, $20,000 in Bitcoin. Sure. I'm like, really? Okay. Rudy, give me a price quote, a chilling rate. I know it's not 300-400 anymore. I missed out. I don't care. I want to lock in my Ethereum gains. Okay? And I get these messages every day. And the amount of people buying and doing this is just, it's wild. Because, you know, all of that crypto internet money, as some of you guys like to use in the memes, it does have an impact on things. It does make a difference. So, that's all I have to say. I just want to have a conversation that all the games are different. The risk is a real thing. It's not going anywhere, and please be careful out there.